The Science of Getting Rich.
Hello, and welcome to another chapter of our course, The Science of Getting Rich. In this moment, the author will share with us the idea of how to get into the right business. In the past, opportunities were very scarce. At the time this book was published, people either followed their parents' profession or worked their entire lives in whatever they could find. But the author, even in times of few opportunities, acquired this knowledge, and from then on, began to develop his literary and teaching abilities in the science of getting rich. In that era, most people only became rich if they were the children of the rich. People were born into a social level and died in it. This concept of social change, of a change in status, practically didn't exist. There wasn't much of an idea of how one could get rich through a scientific method. But the author, by analyzing the lives of some people and his own life, managed to conclude that there were ways to get rich and develop through this knowledge that is being shared. But for that, he had to develop himself in this business, and from what we know about the author, he loved what he did so much that he spent his entire life sharing and believing in this knowledge. But back then, as well as today, the big problem for people is that they simply have no idea what they want for their lives. Most people don't take a single moment to think, what do I want to do in life? What is my calling? What would I love to do? Most people don't think about this subject, because thinking about it takes a lot of work. And as the author has already said in this work, there is no greater labor than holding a fixed thought on an objective. People don't think because thinking about it would demand an action from them regarding this subject. It would perhaps require making a decision to go after these objectives. So most of us go through life letting life just happen, without thinking about what we would really like to do, accepting jobs we don't like, receiving salaries we wouldn't like to receive, always earning less than we'd like. But we accept all of this simply so we don't have to think about these matters. Or even if we have dreams and goals, we try to forget them so we don't have to pay the price. Some people get lucky in life by encountering their calling or the profession they develop from childhood. These people tend to be successful because they do what they love from an early age. This happens with some musicians, actors, athletes, doctors, and so on. But maybe you're saying, I didn't have that luck, or I don't know what my calling is. In this work, the author says that you can get rich in any profession or in any place, but you will have better opportunities if you do something for which you already have developed skills, or if you are doing what you love. Because to get rich, you need to make deals, and these deals need to be done in a certain way. You need to have a fixed image of what you want in your mind and think about that image all day long. However, if you are in a place where you don't like to work, or in a profession you don't like, you will hardly be able to develop financially in that business, because it will be arduous work. And if this work is not in some way pleasurable, you won't want to develop yourself, and someone else will certainly do that job better than you. But as has been said, you shouldn't just quit your job unless you already have a defined business plan and the resources to develop that business, because wealth will come to you more quickly when you are the owner of your own business. Why? Because the negotiations will be bigger. You can even become very rich as an employee. You can get a job where you earn a lot of money and you can get rich. But you need to really want that job. It needs to be your calling. And that's what you need to think about, because as has been said, this is one of the biggest problems people face in life: the lack of a defined objective. So start now to think about what your calling might be. What would you continue doing even if you weren't paid? If you had only a few months to live, would you continue to do what you do? What would you continue to do even if you won the lottery? The answers to these questions are fundamental for you to know what your callings are. But maybe you're saying, what I do or what I like to do doesn't make money. You might be mistaken, because nowadays, with the advance of the internet, many people are making a lot of money doing and teaching what they love. Artisans who at another time would not have dreamed they could make money doing and teaching what they know. For example, making handmade soap or any other type of craft. Nowadays, there are many people making fortunes on the internet teaching what they love to do. Never before have there been as many opportunities to develop profitable businesses selling knowledge. So it's a matter of stopping to think and analyze what you can do within what you love. But for that, you need to develop the necessary skills. That's why you must study what you love, to be the best possible at what you do, and consequently, make money from it. It's very important to know this, to know what you want, and to know what you like to do. Because wealth will come to you through business, and you will have to take efficient actions. And efficient actions are those where you will do something every day, knowing that these actions will generate consequences for money to come into your life. Now stop and think about that question and about your calling. Stop and answer it so you can know what your life's purpose is. Because believe me, the wealth in your life will be a consequence of you following the science of getting rich, of you following the right steps, of thinking and acting in a certain way, of you doing things in this certain way. And this certain way is in accordance with the laws of the universe. All of this you have already learned. So it doesn't matter what you will do. It could be in music, it could be in sports, it could be in teaching, it could be in commerce. It doesn't matter, as long as you follow the way that is described in this book. Develop your skills, seek to do that for which you have the greatest calling, and always keep your objective in mind, and there's no way it won't work out. Knowing what you want in life is one of the most important things to learn in this course, as it's the lack of a defined objective that often leads us to achieve nothing in life. Not knowing exactly what we want is a major factor in delaying the acquisition of wealth. So write on a sheet of paper, as has been recommended, write the exact image of what you want, and discover what your calling is. All of this is fundamental. The author says that you will do very well in a business where you already have developed skills. But if you don't have these skills yet, you can learn anything you want in this life. There is no profession and no skill that you cannot learn. But you need to dedicate yourself. There are many courses on the internet, and many of them are even free. But you will do much better. You will have better results if you do something you love. Then you will be getting into the right business, because you will love it and do it with love. And you will strive to be the best at it. You will get better deals. So dedicate some time to knowing what your calling is, what you love to do, what you would do even for free, what you would spend the rest of your life doing, and also what you would do or continue doing even if you won the lottery. The answers to these questions are fundamental for you to discover what you love to do, since you have already learned in this course how to do it. When you get the answers to these questions, when you know what you would do in these situations, then that will be the right business for you. But to start, be the best in the company you work for today. Do your job in the best way, and you will be led and attracted to what you want to do, because now you know where you want to go, and things will happen in your life in a way that you will manage to get there. Keep the idea of what you want fixed in your mind. Things will happen in your life when you think and act in a certain way, when you believe with all the faith in the world that it is possible, that it is already real, and that it is happening, that you are creating this reality. Keep the image of what you want fixed in your mind, and have absolute certainty that you will achieve it. So, the right business is one for which you already have the most developed talent. But if you don't, there is something more important, which is the desire to dedicate yourself. Because if you love a certain business or profession, you will dedicate yourself, and you will certainly be the best. And this will bring you great development in life and certainly wealth. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next chapter.